According to Jung, the hero principle is one of 5 fundamental forces within the human psyche, or states of being, that define how we engage with others and approach challenges. The hero's principle embodies action, courage, and a willingness to face conflict. The positive aspect of the hero principle is portrayed through the hero itself, representing the creative individual who has the courage to be true to himself, his vision, and his personal values, remaining open and willing to learn, enduring conflicts, frustration, loneliness and rejection, and by doing so, gaining insights and performing actions that have transformative power for themselves but also for society. So the hero's principle is about embracing the journey into the unknown, facing challenges head on, and transforming both oneself and the world. Or in Joseph Campbell's words, the cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek. According to Jung, the hero's principle can be understood and integrated through the hero's journey. The hero's journey is a type of story told in many different ways, but always centered on the same human challenges that the hero must overcome, with the dragon fight as the final challenge, representing the act of standing one's ground in the face of potential destruction. Many great myths, such as the Greek epic of Odysseus and the Mesopotamian tale of Gilgamesh, are classic hero myths, and as are movies like Star Wars and The Matrix. And as Jung put it, all of life is fundamentally a continuous hero's journey. While the positive hero represents a force for good, fighting for freedom, life and justice, the hero's principle also has a negative side, manifesting itself as power-hungry, selfish and violent individuals willing to act cruelly under a supposedly good cause. Jung believed that the shadow aspects of the hero typically result from a one-sided personality focused exclusively on the hero archetype, leading to megalomania, lust for power and violence. Jung himself said, "The greatest danger to man is not the evil within the other, but the evil within himself." The shadow side of the hero's principle has created a trope on its own, the fallen hero, like Darth Vader from Star Wars or Arthas from World of Warcraft. And not surprisingly, heroic symbolism is also often found in fascist and totalitarian political systems, such as Nazi Germany. The story of the hero and savior of humanity possesses a particularly strong power, not only to individual leaders, but to entire masses and nations that can fall prey to them. In the performance-oriented and scientific society of the West, the hero's principle, alongside the logos principle, are the dominant forces in the world. For Jung, these two principles represent the masculine side, where on the other hand, he thinks of the eros and bios as the feminine principles. Jung saw in the dominance of the heroes and logos the source for the so-called masculine world we live in, and regularly emphasized the dangers and problematic consequences of this one-sided situation and the neglect of other archetypical forces, namely the eros, bios and mythos. Recent gender equality movements pick up on that fact, by not only focusing on equal rights, but by lifting up feminine principles on the same level as the masculine principles, and removing the source for this masculine world. Sadly, there is a growing tendency to not only lift feminine principles for equality, but also to stigmatize and dismiss masculine principles through terms like toxic masculinity, and by doing so, repeating the mistakes of the past, where feminine parts have been stigmatized. In summary, the hero's principle is the forward-driving, goal-oriented energy within us that pushes towards autonomy, freedom and justice. Integrating the hero within us is seen as the most important personal duty, judged by the prevalence of the hero's myth in our society. However, the hero's principle has recently lost some of its flawless reputation, highlighted by the creation of terms like toxic masculinity. And while it comes from good intentions to control the shadow aspects of the hero, such as power hunger, oppression, and domination, suppressing specific aspects within us by drawing a moral line between healthy heroism and toxicity is a dangerous game, particularly when standards for one gender are defined by the other one.